Hi guys. All right, I'm gonna warn you, this is probably going to be a long video, and I hope you guys stay till the end, especially those of you that were defending the people that dumped the cats. Right out the gate, I wanna challenge you guys. Any of you that defended the actions, I challenge you guys to donate right now. Go to the link in my bio, click on that, and donate $100 to help cover the cost of what we're stepping up to take care of these cats. If you think it's okay, if you think it's acceptable, go to the link in my bio, click on that, and make a one-time donation, or even do better, become a monthly donor. That being said, the most common thing that I saw was people saying, David, you keep saying there's a better way. What is the better way? Why don't you tell us what the better way is? So let me address that. The better way is, number one, don't let yourself get into this position where you're overwhelmed with this many cats. Before I get into that, I need to start by saying, if we're going to play the what ifs games, what if this, what if that, we don't know this, we don't know that, we're never going to come to an understanding and an agreement on this matter, period. Because you could say, what if the person's people die? What if they died? Or what if maybe somebody dumped these cats on their porch? What if this? What if that? We're never going to come to an agreement and an understanding if we're going to play that. So we have to deal with the facts. The facts are someone dumped these cats at a vet. Okay? Now, I have to remind you people that a vet is no more equipped to care for this many animals than you or I on an individual basis. They're not. And because people are saying, well, at least they dumped them where they can get help. That's not really true, because the vets are there to care for other people's animals. They're not equipped to intake 29 cats like this. And another thing, let me tell you something. Any rescue or vet, when we get an animal like this, we have no idea their circumstances. They could have panleukopenia, they could have FELV. We have to isolate them for a minimum of 14 days. It's not like we can just take this many cats and put them in general population. We can't do that. So to isolate this many cats in a humane way by giving them separate crates and room and litter boxes is absolutely, and it's just impossible. It's an impossible task. Again, we're dealing with the facts here, guys. Don't go with your emotions. And I know the emotions overrule us and override the facts of the matter sometimes, because we look at it like, I know a lot of you are saying, well, at least they didn't dump them in the desert. We can't justify actions like this by saying it could have been worse. Let me give you an analogy. My father, one of the wisest men I know, taught me a lesson in life when I was a very young child. He said, son, do you want to know if something is a good thing or a bad thing, regardless of what the law says or regardless of what society says? Ask yourself this simple question. If everybody did it, would it be a good thing or would it be a bad thing? If everybody did the exact same thing, is the outcome a good thing or is the outcome a bad thing? And if you think about it, let me use the analogy. Someone pulls up to a traffic light and they have a cigarette in their hand, and this one person throws a cigarette out the window. This one person, not necessarily a bad thing. There's one cigarette on the ground. We could say to ourselves, well, they could have done it when they were in the forest. They could have thrown a cigarette out in the forest. At least they didn't do that. Or at least they threw it out at the traffic signal where there's concrete or pavement. But if everybody that pulled up to this traffic light threw a cigarette out, there would be a mountain of cigarettes and it would be bad for our environment. That's a bad thing. So look at it like this. If everybody that got in the situation where they didn't want their cats anymore went and dumped their cats somewhere, is that a good thing or a bad thing? It's absolutely no questions about it. It's a bad thing. It's definitely a bad thing. The other thing I want to say, guys, is back to the vets not being equipped to take care of this many cats, or even rescues. people are saying, well, what's the answer? The answer is prevention. Let's just get this out in the open. Prevention, prevention, prevention. There are so many programs out there. My Rescue is sponsoring a spay and neuter program where you can get cats fixed for free. Granted, there's not enough funds for everybody, but we're doing our part. There's other programs out there. The County of Riverside Animal Shelter, they're running the free spay and neuter. You can go down, there's a place down in San Diego, same thing. People have to get off their butts, don't be lazy about it, and look for resources. Get these cats fixed in the first place. Don't get to a point where you have 29 cats, 3 moms with 3 different litters, plus a bunch of other cats. Don't get to that. Prevention. All right. Now let's get past this. Let's say the people were irresponsible and they didn't prevent the cats from getting spayed or neutered. What's the next best thing? Dump them at a vet clinic, right? Let me ask you a question. The vet clinics, I've already established that they're not any more prepared to care for this many animals than you or I. So would you feel the same way if these people dumped the cats on your porch? Would you say, well, at least I'm so glad they dumped them on my porch. At least they didn't dump them out in the desert. Would you say that? Would you really think that? Because you would think, why did they dump them on my porch? Why am I responsible for these cats now? And now let me go further. Somebody dumps the cats on your porch and you reach out to rescues, and every one of us rescues, people are saying, well, they call the rescues and you're full. Why are we full? Why do we have so many cats? Because of irresponsible people that don't spay and neuter. Because people that like this, that get to a point where there's too many cats, and then they rely on rescues to clean up the messes. We're full because we're full. We're full because we've already taken cats from people like this. So then we can't take the next ones because of people like this. So let's say my rescue and other rescues, we step up and we take these 29 cats. Someone calls me tomorrow, David, this cat got ran over. And I'm like, I'm sorry. Every single one of my crates are full because I've got to isolate these cats that someone dumped. So I can't take this cat with a broken leg. I just can't. I have nowhere to put it. We don't just magically come up with space to house these animals, especially if we have to quarantine them. So if a situation arises and someone calls me and they say, David, I have a very bad situation here. My father passed away and I can't take his cats. I'm a traveling salesman. And the reason why I'm using this analogy is because this exact same situation happened to us. Couple of brothers came to me and they're like, David, my father passed away. My brother lives in England and I'm a traveling salesman and he has a couple of cats and we don't know what to do. We've called the shelter. If owner surrenders are the first to be euthanized, we don't want that to happen to our father's cats. And guess what we did? We stepped up and we took the cats. Because here's what we did. We found out, were the cats indoor only cats? Yes, they were. Were they ever outside? No, they weren't. So we take them to our vet, we test them, we get them their vaccines, and we can put them in general population because they've been essentially quarantined at this gentleman's house. But when they come to us in a situation like this, we have no idea if they've been quarantined. We don't know where they came from. We have to isolate them. So we don't have the space for them. I'm looking at the time. It's almost a 9-minute video, and I hope you guys are following along, and I hope you're hearing the desperation in my voice, because this is not the way to do it. And I know there's going to be people that keep saying, at least they didn't do this, or at least they didn't do that. Let me continue on with what is the right thing to do. First of all, prevention. Now we've got past that. They were irresponsible, then didn't prevent them. The next thing is, call rescues and tell them, say, look, I'm sorry, but I'm desperate. Whatever the situation is, I've got 29 cats. Then somebody like myself or other rescues, we could look into it. Now, some of them are going to say, I'm sorry, I can't touch that. There's no way I can touch 29 cats. And you can't really blame us for that. But let's get past this. The person has to be diligent and make phone call after phone call after phone call, and then return phone calls and say, hey, look, I called every rescue in town. I'm desperate. I don't know what to do. I don't want to take them to the shelter, but I got to do something. Somebody like myself would say, listen, let me ask you some questions. Were the cats confined in a house? Were they out roaming? This makes a big difference, because if they're all confined in a house, we could test a few of them. We can get them. We can probably find a foster. We can start asking other rescues, could you take two? Could you take two? And could you take two? We can get past this. But going and dumping them somewhere is not the right thing to do. Because if, let's say that this person dumped them on your porch, and you call the rescues and we say 29 cats, I'm sorry, I don't know what to tell you, because none of us are equipped to take in that many cats. And then you're the one who has to take them to the shelter. This burden is now placed on you. Not only just the burden of having to do it, but the heartache knowing that you're taking them to the shelter to most likely be euthanized. That responsibility now falls on you. Is that fair? Is that even remotely fair? Because this person didn't do what they should have done? There's other ways to do it, but let me just get to the bottom line. Yesterday was an extraordinary situation. Fortunately, the stars aligned for these cats. It doesn't always work out so well. If I was out of town, if I was so busy, if I actually with my real job where I couldn't have even responded, I devoted my entire day yesterday, late into the evening last night, dealing with this. But let me tell you something. Yesterday was an extraordinary lucky situation for these cats, because normally whoever they were dumped on, whether it be another rescue or a vet or an individual, let's say they left them at PetSmart or Petco, they're going to call animal control, come pick them up. They're going to go to the shelter, and maybe they're going to be euthanized. And if they're lucky, they're not. But some way, somehow, the shelter has to make room for them. That means euthanizing other cats. All right. So, should that responsibility be on you? Should it be on me? Should it be on PetSmart, Petco, my vet? Should we have to be the ones that makes that call, when ultimately the person that dumped them, if they absolutely exhausted all resources and couldn't find anybody to take these cats, it should be their responsibility. They should bear the brunt of that heartache, the burden, and take them to the shelter themselves. And yes, it's not ideal, but cats get euthanized every single day across America, across the world. It's just a sad fact. It's reality. But dumping this problem on someone else because you don't want to deal with it or they don't want to deal with it is not right. There's no way you can justify it. There's absolutely no way you can justify it. Of course you can say it's better than. Yeah, okay. It's better than them just dumping them in the street. It's better than them taking them in the mountains. Better than them using target practice. I've seen all of your guys' better thans. And bless your hearts, I know you're talking with emotion, not logic and reason right now. And I want to keep turning it around and saying, if this was you, if they dumped them on your porch, would you be saying that same exact thing? I don't think so. So the better alternative, I keep reiterating it, prevention. Spay and neuter your pets. If you see a family member that's getting out of control, step in, help them, reach out to rescues before it gets overwhelming like this. Spay and neuter programs are out there. You got to take advantage of it, and you got to look into it, and you got to do a little bit of work. The problem that I've been experiencing is people don't want to do the work. I get people, they call me and they're like, there's a cat on my porch and I've been feeding it, and now all of a sudden there's babies in my flower bed. Can you come take them? There's only 7 of them. And we're like, this happens daily to us rescuers. Daily. Please, ma'am, please, if you're going to feed them, fix them. You can't just feed them, then knowing they're going to have babies, and then expect someone else to come clean up the mess. And then I hear, it's not my cat, I'm just putting food out, I'm just trying to do the right thing, at least I'm feeding them. No. It's just contributing to the problem, the overwhelming, exhausting problem that us rescuers, the shelters, the vets, the vet technicians, all of us are going through. It's exhausting. It's heartbreaking for us, guys. I wish you could just walk a day in our shoes. hold my phone for 24 hours and see what we go through. Just see. And I'm going to put this out there. Any one of you that say it's better or that is upset with me for feeling the way I am, come to my facility. Come and see how many cats we have, because we have not been sitting on our butts doing nothing. We have been taking in the cats. Because I see some of the people that are like, well, if the rescues wouldn't say we're full because we're full. We're full because we've already stepped up. We've already done our due diligence. The other thing I want to touch on is lately there has been a lot of raids of rescues. And this is a very controversial subject, but I'm going to put it out there right now. You guys have no idea what we go through. A lot of these rescues, I think, had good intentions. And most of these animals, I don't think were in bad living conditions. Some of them, maybe they were. I don't know the situation. But it's because of a situation like this that rescues get in over their head. Because you guys are saying, I see people saying, rescues need to learn to say no. They shouldn't get themselves overwhelmed. They shouldn't take in too many. But in the same breath, other people will say, well, it's okay to go dump a litter of puppies or 29 cats on someone, and the rescue should step up and help. It's the rescue's fault because they tell everybody that they're full. Whew, I don't know, guys. Do you see what I'm saying? So many rescues get overwhelmed because we're trying to clean up other people's messes. I don't even know if I can post a 17-minute video. The other thing, guys, I keep an eye on our subscriptions, and we call it a churn rate when people cancel their subscriptions. There's a certain percentage, and it's a graph like this. It goes up and down like this. We're going to periodically, people's credit card numbers expire. People stop their subscription. Maybe things, they fall in hard times. But the graph goes like this. In a situation like this, I looked at the graph this morning. Bam. Canceled subscription, canceled subscription, canceled subscription. People are actually mad at me because I'm upset that someone dumped a litter of kittens or cats, and we're the ones that are stepping up and doing something about it, and people cancel their subscription on me. They cancel their monthly subscription. Even my followers, I see the graph. Normally it's like this. It's like this going up, my followers. And then all of a sudden, situation like this happens, and my analytics go like this, the graph. Really? I don't know, guys. It really hurts my heart to think that so many people are upset with me when we're the ones that stepped up to help these cats. It's heartbreaking. But what are we going to do? The only thing we can do is as much as we can do with the space allowed and the finances that we have. If you guys want to cancel your subscriptions because you think I'm an asshole because I'm saying that this isn't the right way, do it. We just, if we don't have the funds, we can't do what we do. And if whatever funds we have, we're going to do as much as we possibly can. But I got to tell you something, guys. I'm a really, really motivated guy. Like, I've been through a lot. Last night was the first time. I've been doing rescue for 13 years now. Last night was the first time that I actually questioned, really seriously searched my heart, and I thought, I don't think I want to do this anymore. I really don't think I want to do this anymore. I wish there was just an easy way out for me. I wish I could just get out right now because it wasn't enjoyable. And I thought to myself, I said, David, pull yourself together. Put your big boy panties on. This is your calling. Don't let this get to you. This is what you're made for. These animals rely on you. And then I would tell myself, I don't know. This is tough. It's hard. It's really hard. All right, guys. I got to go. So I hope I can even post this video. I hope I maybe got to some people to understand and see our side of it. Some of you aren't. Some of you are probably going to delete me after this. Some of you are probably going to go cancel your subscription. I love you guys. Thank you for everything. We couldn't do what we do without you.